right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Sanusi Vision Art Life. My name is Adewale Agboke Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. Today, I'm going to talk about superheroes with no powers. So basically, you have to use the inner strength to get superhero stuff done. Like, examples got like characters from the Karjakz Assassins universe, Ironman, Black Widow, Batman, just to name a few. But before we get into this podcast, we want to thank our sponsors. This Sanusi Vision podcast is brought to you by A4 Capital Consulting, growing good business anywhere and everywhere. Let A4 Capital Consulting take your business to the next level. That's A4CapitalConsulting.com for details, y'all. That's A4CapitalConsulting.com for details, y'all. I'm going to go quickly into it. They're coming out with a podcast soon. I keep mentioning on every episode, but I'll keep doing it because I want y'all to know so that when the podcast comes around, that the A4 Capital Consulting podcast comes around, y'all won't be surprised. So it's going to be a great show. It's going to educate you on how to become a great business person as an artist, you know, to grow yourself just like I have done, to be able to understand things like trademarks, LLCs, copyrights, how to market your business, all that good stuff. So get ready for that A4 Capital Consulting podcast. And this podcast also brought to you by Anadel for the ankle. Don't live with foot pain. Let Anadel for the ankle make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. As I stated before, Anadel Center, custom orthotics for your feet. You know, if you have foot pain, custom design orthotics strictly for your feet. Not just generic design brands that you find at your local stores, but designed to your feet, customized. You go in there to Anadel Center, they put you on the machine. It checks out your feet, sees what the diagnosis is, solves the problem, offers the diagnosis. And then, of course, you get to come out there with one of these awesome custom orthotics, which goes in every pair of Bata's footwear that I wear. These are the only things that I wear in my Bata's footwear. I just got to wear the best. I want my feet not in pain. And I've been pain-free for a long time. So, y'all, if you need to get your feet checked out, AnadelCenter.com for details. AnadelCenter.com for details. Make that appointment. All right, y'all, let's get into this episode. I'm pretty excited about it, you know what I mean? Because I've always wanted to talk about superheroes with no powers. I find them fascinating, you know what I mean? And I had to actually put this list together. And what I'm going to do today is, there's not going to be any videos. It's going to be just posters of my drawings that I've done. This is how you know I'm really into them. Characters that I drew, and I'm going to show you a poster of each person just to jump it off. Let's start off with Batwing. I'm not talking about the Batwing from... Batwing came to, in my perception, when I found out about Batwing, was actually based on this Batman animated movie called Batman Blood Moon. It was Nightwing, Batgirl, Batwing, of course, and then Robin. They were going against Talia, Ra's al Ghul's daughter. And I was like, whoa, this dude is kind of cool. And so his background is basically to let you know he's Lucius Fox's son. Lucius Fox is also the guy who designed the Batmobile, the Batsuit, and everything Batman uses, right? So his son is part of the military. He comes back from the military. I believe the Marines, I believe, or it might be the Navy. He comes back. He discovers in the animated movie that I watched, he discovers the armor in Lucius' secret room or whatever. And then he just puts it on. Next thing you know, he's helping out Batman. This dude's got shoulder missiles, all kinds of cool stuff. You know what I mean? But he's sick, man. And I got to show it to y'all. Batwing. He needs to get more TV time. But that's Batwing right there. Very few people know about Batwing. You know what I mean? That's Batwing right there. Unless you watch, maybe if you watch the Batwoman TV show on TV, but I wasn't talking about that. Even though that's cool too. But this Batwing is based on the animated movie that I watched. It's so sick. But it's great to have Batwing on the TV series too. Next up, we got Hawkeye from the Avengers. Of course, you know Hawkeye. Come on, man. Everybody knows what Hawkeye is. The favorite sharpshooter, doesn't ever miss. Of course, Hawkeye from the Avengers. As you know, real name Clint Barton. He's part of the Avengers and been all Avengers movies. But not to mention animated series like the Avengers movies from the animated from the 1990s. The Iron Man series from the 1996. You know what I'm saying? Part of Force Works. And Hawkeye is a master sharpshooter basically, but with a bow and arrow, right? And in the movies you got to see that. I mean, Hawkeye never really got his due. And then if you've been paying attention to a lot of Hawkeye stuff, you also saw it on the Disney Plus series. They had 6 episodes. It was Jeremy Renner. It was such a great. I liked it a lot because you got to see. It wasn't really a background story on Hawkeye. It was just more of the hero that is. So Hawkeye's, a lot of people. I found him interesting because everything he does is to do around the bow and arrow, and everything that the bow and arrow can do. Like, he's made a bow and arrow look so cool. You know what I mean? Hawkeye, part of the Avengers. I mean, that's Hawkeye right there. He's pretty sick. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't really give him his props. I guess it's because he can't do all the stuff that Iron Man or Hulk or Captain America or Thor can do. But Hawkeye is pretty sick, man. He's a pretty sick character. Next up, you got Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. That's right. If you grew up, I don't know if you all know Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. Let's see here. There we go. Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe, the movie. Well, the first one anyway, or even the animated series from the 1980s. G.I. Joe, Real American Heroes. I don't know anybody who didn't think Snake Eyes was the coolest character in the whole G.I. Joe universe. Whether it's the Cobra side or the G.I. Joe side, but everybody thought Snake Eyes was the sickest. And then when the movie came out, we was like, oh crap, Ray Park is playing Snake Eyes. Oh, this is going to be sick. And it did not disappoint. The first one was really good. I really liked it. It was directed by Stephen Sommers. But as a kid, used to watch G.I. Joe, the cartoon animated series. Then there was another G.I. Joe that came out in the mid-2000s, 2003 or 2004. I think G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe Extreme came out too, but that didn't have Snake Eyes in there. There were different separate set of G.I. Joe characters. Then of course you had Snake Eyes from this animated series that was in like 2010. Oh God, I'm trying to think what it is. But that was another good one. But Snake Eyes wasn't that. But Snake Eyes is the sickest. Now Snake Eyes, I kind of drew him based on what you're used to looking at. You know what I mean? That's Snake Eyes right there, y'all. Yeah, that's pretty sick. You know what I mean? Snake Eyes, pretty sick, man. You know what I mean? And of course, you can't forget about his arch nemesis, Storm Shadow. But Snake Eyes might be the coolest, one of the coolest ninja characters. A character is based on ninjutsu in animation history. He's just too sick. Not to mention he's military. So it's pretty cool, man. He do all kinds of cool kicks. He's a master swordsman. I mean, this dude's just whooping butt left and right, man. Next up, Grifter. Now, when I say that name, Grifter, a lot of y'all don't even know who I'm talking about, right? If you ever watched Wildcats, Jim Lee's Wildcats, that's right, the great Jim Lee, who worked for Marvel and worked for DC, and now works for DC solely, strictly, I think. He's like some kind of director of creation or something like that. But he created this cartoon called Wildcats, and there was a lot of superheroes in there, and a lot of them had powers. The only one that didn't have any kind of powers was Grifter. But he also thought he was the coolest too. I mean, Grifter was sick. Real name Cole Cash. He's part of the DC universe now because DC bought all the Wildcats characters, of course, meaning that Jim Lee joined them. He was in one animated movie, Flashpoint, a Flashpoint animated movie with Flash, the Flashpoint. And he really has no special abilities, but he's a marksman, you know what I'm saying, with these laser cannons, and he just never misses, man. And he's a cocky, arrogant individual, which I think is cool as hell. I mean, dude, Grifter right there. There's nobody that ever watched, see how sick he is? See how sick that is? There's nobody that ever watched Wildcats and didn't think Grifter was not the coolest character on that show. Grifter was so sick. If you ever get a chance, Wildcats, you can catch it on YouTube. It's got the characters that were part of that universe: Grifter, Warblade, Spartan, Maul, Zealot, Voodoo, and then of course the computer. You know what I mean? And then they were I guess I would say they were sponsored by Jacob Marler. It was like this billionaire, gajillionaire industrialist who had money and wanted to put a team of heroes together, man. And they're going against the Damonites, but Grifter was the sickest. I'm surprised he didn't get his own movie. I'm surprised he didn't get his own animated movies, but I guess they didn't, at the time, man, they wasn't thinking like we should go that far, you know what I mean? But Grifter is sick as hell. Next up, Catwoman. You know, it's funny, Catwoman is not showing as much love as she should get. I've always found that fascinating. Let's see if we can find this lady right here, Catwoman. Now let's break it down. Of course, everybody knows Catwoman is, right? Love interest of Batman, part of the DC universe, part of the Gotham City universe. I mean, she's an ecleptolytic, as they like to call it. She likes to steal things that she doesn't really need. But she's more, I more see her as a person who steals things that she can sell on the black market. That's to be honest with y'all. You know what I mean? But if you ever watch from Batman The Returns movie with Michelle Pfeiffer to Batman The Dark Knight series with Christian Bale to the new Batman with Zoe Kravitz, dude, it was sick, man. Zoe Kravitz was great as Catwoman. Let me show you all the poster. I mean, I think let me find it real quick. This new Batman series with Robert Pattinson, it's gonna be sick, man. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. You will see what I mean by Catwoman. She literally is not using anything special other than her acrobatics and her physical skills to do what she does. I mean, it's pretty sick, man. Catwoman right there. Y'all know what it is. She's prowling Gotham City right there. And all these posters that I'm showing y'all, they're all available on SanusiVision.com. I mean, Catwoman is the sickest character. I mean, I think the only thing that she's missing in her arsenal is like to have a better costume, a costume that protects her joints and stuff like that. Because I'll be always worrying like she's gonna flip over one of these and break something, man. You know what I mean? So, but Catwoman is a sicko character. She's been great in all the animated movies, animated series. I've seen every single Batman animated series there is to see. I haven't missed not one. Whether it's year one, it don't matter. I've seen them all. Whether it's Batman the animated series, whether it's Batman Beyond, I've seen them all. It's just I've never missed a chance to see Catwoman in an animated movie. And some of the most recent Batman animated movies have all had Catwoman really playing as love interest, which is better for the storyline of the whole thing. So I'm glad that DC is actually putting out more and more. But what I think was missing is that she should actually get her own animated movie. I think that would be sick as hell. We need to get her complete background storyline because we all know she's Carmine Falcone's daughter. A lot of people don't know that. She's Carmine Falcone's daughter. You know what I mean? So Carmine Falcone was a scumbag. You know what I mean? But Catwoman, man. Next up, Ant-Man from the Avengers. That's right, Ant-Man from the Avengers. Let's see if we can go get this, hold on. Ant-Man. Yes, that's right. Scott Lang, just like in the movie, right? He steals Hank Pym's armor. And the reason why Scott Lang made this list is because without the suit, he really can't do anything. Like, so that's why I call it inner strength, right? Because they have the gumption. Now he's very smart. He has the intelligence and stuff like that to be able to do all kinds of cool stuff. But without the costume, he can't really do all the things he's doing, like shrinking and going to the subatomic universe and all that cool stuff, man. Let's find Ant-Man for y'all, man. Ant-Man's sick as hell. I didn't know how sick he was till I started watching Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and then when the movies came out. And then, of course, when the Ant-Man movies came out. Oh, that really did it for me. You know what I mean? That was so sick, man. Let me see here. Hold on, y'all. I'm looking for Ant-Man. Where you at? Where you at? Y'all give me a second. I gotta show y'all Ant-Man. I think he's over here. This is what happens when you have so many poster books. You have to literally look through. It's like, oh, there we go. This is Ant-Man right here. Yep, Scott Lang. Sick as hell. I try to really draw it to match the movie, man. Because I remember when the movie came out, I was like, dude, I got to draw Ant-Man. Ant-Man is so sick. You know what I mean? But Ant-Man shrink, grow big, just like in the Civil War, just like on the Avengers movies. If you've never seen the animated series, Ant-Man, Avengers Assemble, please go watch it. You're gonna love the character. They literally immerse him into the whole series, which is pretty sick, man. So Scott Lang, Ant-Man, is another sick character with no powers. Next up, Daredevil. Yes, Daredevil. That's right. Matt Murdock, the blind superhero. I think as a kid, I used to watch Spider-Man, the animated series. But what happened was when the movie came out, I was like, if you've never seen the movie came out, it was starring Ben Affleck, and then Ben Affleck was in the movie, and Jennifer Garner was playing Elektra. Ben Affleck, I honestly thought made a really good Daredevil. For whatever reason, the movie, a second one wasn't made. I don't know why, but yo, he was a sick. The movie was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I never understand why second part twos aren't made of some good movies. It's always the ones that suck that they make the part twos of. But let's find Daredevil for y'all. Man, Daredevil was sick in that movie. Even in the animated series with Spider-Man, you know what I mean? And of course, he has radar sense. He's blind, of course, as you know. Real name Matt Murdock. He's blind, as you know. He's a lawyer by day. He's got these radar sense since he lost his vision, so all these other senses are heightened. His hearing, his sense of smell, his sense of taste, sense of touch. So he really technically has no powers, only that his human elements have all been enhanced. Man, Daredevil is sick, man. Let's find this picture of this dude. Man, this dude is fire. He's one of the sickest characters. Of course, the movies that came out, the TV show series, that made me fall in love with Daredevil even some more. Yes, the Netflix series that was on for 3 seasons was awesome. I thought it was going to go way more than 3 seasons. Hopefully, they're going to bring it back or they're going to relaunch it because, man, that was such a good TV show. Let's go find y'all Daredevil real fast, man. I'm over here talking too much instead of getting y'all the poster. Let's go find them. Where you at? Where you at? Ah, here we go. Daredevil. There go Daredevil right there, man. Y'all see it. That's Daredevil right there, man. That drawing is pretty sick. You know what I mean? I remember when I really got to drawing that when the Netflix series came out. You know what I mean? It's been a good seller for a while. But Daredevil, Matt Murdock, he's just all acrobatics. And then, of course, he's got the nightsticks. And then he's got that rope that he used to glide around the city. I mean, you literally got a blind guy just acrobatically doing all kinds of amazing things around the city with nothing but his senses. That to me is sick as hell. Like, I love superheroes that don't have powers. And I'm okay with ones that have powers too, but not when they have too much power. Then they get boring. That's just really one of the reasons I think I've always loved Batman more than Superman. Superman is good, but he's not Batman. Batman is great because he has so many limits that don't limit him, if that makes any sense, y'all. You know what I mean? But Daredevil's on this list. Next up, Nightwing. Man, what can I tell you about Nightwing? He's the Dick Grayson, of course, real name Dick Grayson. He's the former sidekick of Batman. He used to be Robin, and then he branches off on his own and becomes Nightwing, of course. That's a story. Come on now. And then he's still guarding, instead of guarding Gotham City, he's guarding San Francisco. Where he moves, him and the Titans move to San Francisco. Now, the story can go either way. It can be based on the Batman, the animated series, or some of the animated movies you've seen, or even the Titans TV show, which I think is the sickest superhero TV shows. Man, it's top 3 of all time, because that show is so good and so raw. Like, season 3 to me was one of the greatest superhero TV seasons ever. It was so sick. Like, season 3 was just beyond incredible, because it had Barbara Gordon. The storylines were just sick. It was all over the place. You had the Red Hood in there. But Nightwing's always been awesome. He's basically Batman without the mask and the cape. He can do everything Batman can do, but on like I want to call it a B+, well, A- level, because Nightwing can hold his own. I'm not going to try to knock down Nightwing, because I think Nightwing is a sicko character. Let's see if we can go find this dude. Here we go. Nightwing. He's the leader of the Titans. You know what I mean? Look at that dude. Man. And even in the animated series Young Justice, he's the leader there too. He's just a sick character. I didn't really think Nightwing was that cool since I started watching Young Justice. And then when I started watching Young Justice, I'm like, oh my God, this dude is pretty sick. So that's Nightwing, y'all. Next up, who we got here? Nick Fury, commander of S.H.I.E.L.D. And for a lot of y'all don't know, he was actually a guy back in the day with Captain America. He led the Howling Commandos. That's a brief history of of Nick Fury. What I'm waiting on, let's see if we can find a picture of this man. What I'm waiting on, honestly, y'all, is to see whether Marvel's gonna make. Well, they got an animated a storyline series coming with Samuel L. Jackson, but Nick Fury wasn't that cool till he was made into a brother, and then second, when Samuel L. Jackson took over the role. If you want something to be great, you go get Samuel L. Jackson, man. That man is the truth in 2 quarters. Yo, Nick Fury is sick as hell. His background, he's the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's the commander of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, you can go either storyline, whether it's the Marvel movies where in Captain America series where S.H.I.E.L.D. is infiltrated and then Nick Fury has to basically demolish the whole program, or the animated series where he was in the Spider-Man animated series, where he was charged with like having Spider-Man help him catch the Chameleon. And of course, the new series is going to come out on Disney Plus, which I can't wait to see. I've been waiting a long time. What I really want is a movie, not only from the current times of Nick Fury, but to how he became Nick Fury. Like, we want the whole training and all that stuff, man. But Nick Fury right here, man. Yeah, he's a superhero technically, because he can do a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? That's Nick Fury right there. Nick Fury, he can do a bunch of stuff. Nick Fury is a very cool character. I only started liking him a lot because Samuel L. Jackson was playing him. I mean, you gotta have a reason why you like a character, and I can't see no better reason to like a character other than Samuel L. Jackson himself. So Nick Fury. Next up, Centurions. Now this I've never drawn, which is shocking, but I do have a poster. So Centurions is basically these 3 characters, right? Max Ray, Jake Rockwell, and oh my God, Ace McCloud. So one is air, sea, land, and air, right? So Max Ray is commander of the sea. He's the sea guy. Jake Rockwell is the land guy, and then Ace McCloud is the air guy. And each one of them's got so I'm gonna let y'all see it. Look at that. Centurions. Yeah, back in the day, 1986, had its own comic series, man, as you can see. Man, and each one of them had different array of weapons. So Max Ray's ultimate weapon is, who's the sea guy, is Tidal Blast, which is the ultimate array of weapons. And then Jake Rockwell, his ultimate deal is Detonator. And then Ace McCloud, his ultimate thing is Orbital Interceptor. They're basically like a military force of individuals who work to cover the Earth, but they are based in space, right? And they don't really have superpowers. What they have is equipment. These exosuits that can be integrated with different arrays of weapons. So like I just told you about the weapons they have. And then you have Crystal from who's in the space beaming down the different weapons to him, man. And they're going against the evil forces of Dark Terror. It's a sick old show, man. If you've never seen it, YouTube, I know you can't find episodes, but you might be able to see the cartoon intro, and you probably have to go on Amazon Prime or something to go watch it, man. But it's a sick show, man. Those three dudes, Centurions is the sickest. Anybody who knows anything about animation knows about Centurions. You know what I mean? Next up, we got SWAT Cats, Radical Squadron. Yeah, I know there's some cats, but I'm like, you know what? They ain't got no powers, and everything they're doing by themselves. Let's see if I can find these jokers, man. Because SWAT Cats is off the chain. Yo, I couldn't help myself. I was scanning through my phone. I was like, wait a minute, the SWAT Cats are fire. They sick as hell. I got to show SWAT Cats love. Where these cats at? I can't believe I just said that. No pun intended. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find SWAT Cats. Yeah, so basically the story of SWAT Cats is T-Bone and Razor. They're pilots in Mega Cat City. Commander Farrell fights them because they stopped Dark Cats, but they stopped Dark Cat without following protocol. So then he fires them off the squadron, and they decide, you know what, forget this. How about we just go do our own thing? So they built this thing called the Turbo Cat, the sickest superhero jet plane thing you've ever seen. Turbo Cat can do just about anything, man. It was sick. I gotta find it. Let me find it for y'all. Man, if you don't know SWAT Cats, you might get lucky and can watch episodes of it on YouTube, which I highly doubt. If not, you're gonna have to come out the pocket and go on to Amazon Prime or somewhere like that to find it, man. Because I don't know where you're gonna find that SWAT Cats. Because SWAT Cats is, man, it's sick. Let's see here. I'm looking for SWAT Cats. Y'all give me a second. Wow, I'm shocked it's not in here in this one. Let's see here. Y'all finding posters is serious work. Okay. We're still looking, y'all. Unbelievable. What can I tell y'all? Technical difficulties. Okay, so we're not there. You gotta be here. There's no way. Y'all, I'm still looking. I'm looking for SWAT Cats. Now I got, this is what happens when you have too many posters. Because a lot of y'all might not even know what SWAT Cats is. That's why I gotta show y'all this. Where you at? Where you at? I know you in here somewhere. So look, y'all, this is SWAT Cats right here. T-Bone and Razor, the Radical Squadron. That's right, the sickest thing. They've had two seasons of awesomeness, and they had military planes. So basically, like, they were Air Force pilots defending Mega Cat City from Dark Cat, Dr. Viper, all kinds of evil forces of characters, man. I mean, they were so cool. T-Bone and Razor, that Turbo Cat, could do just about anything. Fly in space, all kinds of acrobatics. Fast as hell. The fastest thing I remember one episode, season 2, something called the Speed of Heat, and all you see is a bunch of turbines coming out of the Turbo Cat, and it just going supersonic. I don't know what to call it. Not even past supersonic, like turbo supersonic. I don't know what to call it, man. It was moving, man. You know what I mean? And of course, T-Bone was the pilot, and then Razor was the co-pilot, and they had motorcycles in there. You could come out of there while they were in the air. Razor would come out the Turbo Cat in a motorcycle and just start riding through the city, and it was sick, man. If you've never seen SWAT Cats, please go see it. God, it was so sick. Next up, Steel. Now, Steel, I like Steel because Steel aside from being part of the new Superman show, which I think he looks sick as hell in that show, Steel has always been a part of the Superman series because Steel, what happened was Steel and Eradicator, and then of course Bizarro all got created when Superman got killed by Doomsday. I remember as a kid, the comic series I read, right? And then so the city Metropolis needed defending. So then a bunch of different heroes came around. Steel was one of them. He builds armor. He's kind of like DC's Iron Man, basically, is what he is. John Henry builds his sick old armor, just like in the TV show, in the Lewis and Clark, and he aligns it with all kinds of different weaponry. And then he's defending the city, man, and he's got this amazing hammer. That hammer really came from, I think the concept of it came from John Henry, who goes against the train in the book series, you know, in the children's book series that you read about the hero John Henry. And he builds this armor and he uses it to defend the city. Still is pretty sick, man. There was a movie that Shaq did, which was way back, you know what I mean? But still is sick. In the animated Batman, Superman, the animated series, it was sick. In Justice League, the animated series, it was sick. And of course, in the new TV show, Lewis and Clark, he's sick as hell. God, his armor in the TV show is so sick and so advanced. It's insane. But look, this is my version of Steel right here. Quite popular at the comic expos when I go to the comic expos. Yeah, that's right. That's Steel right there. That's sick as hell. I put my own spin on it, man. I mean, I wasn't... When I drew him, because based on the previous stuff, his armor used to look like cheap. But when I drew it, I was like, I wanted that thing to look like it cost $1 billion, man. And that's exactly what I did right there. Still sick as hell. Next up, Dora Milaje. That's right. Dora Milaje. That's right. Black Panther protectors of Wakanda. Yeah, and I chose Dora Milaje because you're wondering, they ain't got no powers. So you got these amazing women who are the honor guard led by Okoye. You know what I'm saying? And they protect the city. Let me see here, Dora Milaje. Where we at? They protect the city. Let's see here. They protect Wakanda, not only the city of Wakanda, but they, as you can see in Black Panther 2, they're protecting the world. I mean, these ladies are all over the place. They just whooping butt left and right anywhere they got to do it. You know what I mean? It's incredible, man. Let's see here. Dora Milaje. They ain't got no kind of weapons. Well, here, let me show y'all this one. You know what? Yeah, let me show y'all this one, so y'all can see him. Yeah, before Shuri became the Black Panther, she was part of Dora Milaje too, in her own way. You know what I mean? As you can see, Chief Okoye right there. And the women of Dora Milaje, they're incredible. I've read comic series. I just read one from the library. The movies do them justice, man. You get to see these incredible women and awesome armored women. I mean, but that's not uncommon though, because it's always been common in African culture where these incredible women were the honor guard. Not the dudes, the women. They were the military force, going out there and just whooping ass. Because the reason why they were so successful, because a lot of these dumb a lot of these stupid, a lot of these dudes would underestimate them. When they would show up to fight these men, they would completely underestimate them. And this women would just mesmerize them and mirage them and then whoop they, you know what. You know what I mean? It was just incredible. Dora Milaje, it's not nothing new to me for me. So when I saw Black Panther, it was kind of not new to me. And for anybody, if you've ever seen that movie Woman King with the great Viola Davis, that's exactly what the Dora Milaje was doing. So when I saw Woman King, I really wasn't shocked because I was used to seeing stuff like that, understanding the history, and being Nigerian myself, a lot of great history of my ancestry, understanding a lot of that stuff. Like, this ain't new to me. This is normal to me. But to a lot of y'all, that probably wasn't normal. Like seeing a bunch of powerful women like that, just like a military force, just straight kicking butt. That's been around in Africa for the longest, since Africa's inception. The women have always been the real honor guard of the military force. I mean, they were incredible back in the day, up until, I don't know how to call it, chauvinist times, or whatever you want to call it now. You know what I mean? But it was just, Dora Milaje, man, they sick as hell, man. Next up, Green Arrow from the Justice League universe. Oh my God, Green Arrow is so sick. Green Arrow, I became a big Green Arrow fan, not only because of Justice League Unlimited and Justice League, but also because of the Arrow TV show. Oh my God, that show was so sick. Let me see if I can find it. I mean, 8 seasons, no, was it 9 seasons? No, 8 seasons of that show. All kinds of characters with them. Spartan, Wild Dog, Black Canary, I'm trying to think who else. White Canary, guest stars and stuff like that. Adam, God, his sister Speedy. The TV show was so sick. You can actually find episodes of it on Netflix. The entire series on Netflix. The entire series on Netflix. I actually added it to my my list. You know what I mean? It's a sicko TV show. It was an incredible show. It was really, man, Green Arrow was sick as hell. Billionaire industrialist just like Bruce Wayne, except he gets trapped on this island called Lian. He comes back to the city of Starling City, and he defends it from all kinds of individuals. His particular enemy in the TV show was Deathstroke. Deathstroke had it in for this dude for real. I mean, Deathstroke was always in his you know what. It was incredible. Green Arrow was sick. He's got all kinds of arrows. Spartan arrow, smoke arrows, I mean, you name it. And of course, his love interest is Black Canary. But Green Arrow, man, I mean, did he ever miss? Hell no. I personally always thought he was a very super cool version of Hawkeye. Let's check that out again. Green Arrow, you know what I mean? Sick as hell. I kind of give it an old school droid. And his real name was Ali, you know what I mean? Oliver Queen. So real name is Oliver Queen. You know what I mean? Green Arrow, he gets trapped on Lian Yu. He comes back, highly trained. You know what I'm saying? He's in the TV show, he has to make amends for all the messed up stuff that his father did. But in the animated series, you just see this billionaire industrialist, and he's just going around the world, just whooping back left and right, man. Green Arrow is one of the sickest characters ever. I think Justice League has a chance, even though they keep repeating the same cycle of stuff. They can make a movie about Green Arrow. You know how sick that would be? Green Arrow, a movie? Oh my God, that'd be so sick, man. Next up on the list, man, Captain America, Sam Wilson. That's right. I can't tell you how proud I was when Avengers Endgame ended, and at that last scene where Steve Rogers hands the shield over to Falcon. Now, for a lot of y'all don't know, it ain't new news. In the 60s, yes, Captain America becomes a brother. Steve Rogers hands the shield to Sam Wilson, and Sam Wilson, who used to be the Falcon, becomes Captain America. Just like in the TV series, the mini TV series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was sick as hell, which by far, a billion miles was the best mini TV series Marvel has made so far. Nothing could touch it. I cannot believe that was only one season. So let's break down Sam Wilson. He's human. He's Air Force. He's an Air Force guy. He's not a pilot. He's Air Force because he's got these fiber carbon wings. I don't know what you want to call them, but it allows him to fly like a jet plane. I mean, it's insane. The acrobatics, the dynamics, the aerodynamics. I mean, this dude is just insane. I didn't think Falcon was so sick till I watched the movies. Then I remember as a kid though, there was a TV show called Avengers and Ultimate Avengers, and it was sick as hell, dude. It was he was a sick character. He was guest starring like on one episode, but then when Captain America: Winter Soldier came out, I was like, oh my God. And then in the Avengers Assemble series, he was sick. He was so brilliant on that TV show. He was so sick on that show. And then of course the Avengers movies, the various ones, and then of course, when Winter Soldier and Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier series came out, I was like, oh my God. And then he put on the costume. And then you got to see him using the shield and the wings together. You're like, what the hell? I almost committed sacrilege and said he was a better Captain America because he was sick. Dude, the only thing missing is also was he didn't have the serum in his system. You know how sick of a Falcon he would, how sick of even more sick of a Captain America he would be? Now, what I'm looking forward to is I've heard so far in the rumors in the phase 4 of Marvel's movies that there's a movie called Captain America New World Order. So I'm looking forward to that movie, man. But first things first, I got to show you all this right here. Captain America. Right here. You know what I'm saying? Captain America, Sam Wilson. That's Captain America, Sam Wilson, y'all. And the cool thing about this new Captain America, Sam Wilson, he's going to be leading the new group of Avengers, which includes Captain Marvel, Adam, let me see here. Who else was in the new group of Avengers? Ultimate Spider-Man, Vision. It's a different era though, because it's based on a comic book that I read. And also, you know what I mean? But yo, Sam Wilson, Captain America, sick as hell. You know what I mean? Next up, War Machine. Man, let me tell y'all something about War Machine. I love me some War Machine. Whether it's the anime series from the 1990s or whether it's the Iron Man 2 movie, I've always been obsessed with War Machine. I thought War Machine's never got his just due. Now, what I'm waiting on, and Marvel said there might be something coming out, but there's supposed to be like a series, just like the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. It was supposed to be called Armor Wars, I guess, but nothing's happening right now. I mean, I would love to see War Machine get his own series. He's too great of a character because when Iron Man first came out, the War Machine armor was just another armor for Iron Man. But then Marvel realized we needed diversity. So instead of letting Rhodes just become Rhodey just become it was just like an army medic, right? Which was in a way kind of racist. And it's like, we got to get past our ignorance. And so Marvel did. They made him a colonel, just like in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And then he gets, Iron Man builds in this armor. Just like in Iron Man 2, he takes it, he upgrades it, puts all kinds of crazy technology into it. And then you have a war machine. So he's basically the Air Force's military version of Iron Man. With all kinds of assault weapons and assault cannons. I mean, and you saw it in Civil War. I mean, how many things was he just pulling out? It was ridiculous. You know what I mean? And then not to mention Don Cheadle did such a great job as War Machine. So I'm looking forward to War Machine getting his own thing, getting his own movie, getting his own TV series. Look, War Machine right here. That's War Machine right there. And I'm going to show you another War Machine. Because I got to show you, I got two different ones. That's how much I love War Machine. Ah, God, I love War Machine. War Machine's so sick. And here's another War Machine. Yeah, how you like that right there? That's sick as hell, ain't it? You know what I mean? War Machine's sick as hell. So all these posters that I'm showing y'all, they're all available on my website at soundvision.com. I mean, War Machine is one of the sickest characters. He don't get his own due, but he gonna get his due today. I have to have him on this list, man. There's no way else I'm gonna have him on it. Next up, Black Widow. Oh my God, Black Widow is so sick. She is so sick. To me, she's always been the female Batman, because she can do everything Batman can do. Plus she's got like this secret training, red room training stuff. And for a lot of y'all, whether it's Avengers Assemble or the Avengers movies, and please tell me and if you haven't seen the Black Widow movie, oh my God, that movie is so sick. Like, I wanted them to make a Captain Marvel movie, but I didn't want them to make it before they made a Black Widow movie. Because as far as I'm concerned, I feel like Black Widow is the first lady of Marvel. She is so sick. Like, I love superheroes that don't have powers. Let me get my Black Widow on. Let me find this Black Widow, man. I gotta find this Joker. Here we go. Here's Black Widow. Real name, Natalia Romanoff. You know what I mean? Man, this is fantastic. And I honestly, man, I don't think anybody else but Scarlett Johansson could have played Black Widow. She fits her to the T. You know what I mean? Incredible acrobatics, like smart, guile, can infiltrate places, intelligent. She's a detective. She's got every type of martial arts fighting skills you can think of. She can get herself out of every situation. She's got cool gadgets aside from the nightsticks. She's got those shock things on her wrist. And she's so damn clever, man. God, it's ridiculous. And when you watch the movie, right? And of course, she's an orphan, I guess, if that's what you want to call her. But if you watch the movie, you get to realize that her mother she was taken from her mother. Not just that she became an orphan, but it was intentional that she became an orphan. It's Black Widow's just sick as hell, y'all. Sick as hell, y'all. Black Widow's off the chain. You know what I mean? God, I can't. Black Widow she's just so sick. So sick. You know what I mean? She's one of the sickest characters I've ever seen. I'm just glad that she finally got a movie. And hopefully there's a part 2. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but please revive her. I know she died in Endgame, but there's got to be a way to bring her back, man. Because Black Widow is so sick. You know what I mean? Next up, we got Teknoman. Yeah, that's right. Teknoman. Teknoman is one of the... Let me get Teknoman. Let me get Teknoman out. Teknoman, for a lot of y'all know, 1990s. He's a superhero. He's like Iron Man, but his armor fits onto his body. Now, he made this list because without his armor, Slade can't really do anything, right? So he can either transform through the crystal, which was shattered, which was now put onto his Technobot, which is called Pegasus. And that's how he transforms, right? Because so without his Pegasus armor, he can't do anything, but he still has courage. So he has to fight the Venomoids, led by Lord Darkon and his general, Saber, who is his twin brother, which is insane. Teknoman, sickest animated series. To me, he's top 10 superheroes of all time. He's so sick. Like, I know a lot of people probably don't even remember Teknoman, which would be really disgraceful. But if you want to remember Teknoman, please go onto YouTube. You can watch 43 episodes of awesomeness, and then you too can see why I think Teknoman is so sick and why I made this list. Teknoman is sick, man. He's basically Iron Man with a saber, with a different type of array of weapons. You can see him right there. You know what I mean? Teknoman. Teknoman is sick, man. God, he's got the the third sickest transformation superhero sequence thing I've ever seen. He's got his costume is sick. The villains he fights are sick. The story is sick. Not to mention his Japanese style. So y'all know how I feel about that Japanese style, man. I mean, God, Teknoman is spitfire, y'all. Spitfire. God, if you've never seen Teknoman, like I said again, go to YouTube. Because I don't know where else you're going to be able to watch it. Because that's where I watch it. That's why I find most things that I need to watch is YouTube. If not, I have to go buy it. You know what I mean? So, Teknoman, sick as hell. Real name Slade. And the background story, as I told y'all before, his entire family gets captured by the Venomoids led by Lord Darkon. He uses them as experiments to turn them into Teknoman. And every time they turn into Teknoman, they're literally dying. So turning into a Teknoman is really not good for your health. But Slade's got to turn into Teknoman because he's got to fight the Venomoids. And every time he fought the Venomoids, he just lost his humanity more and more. I remember, I'm not going to tell you anything, but in the animated series, there's a point where every time he would transform into Teknoman, he would lose his humanity. So he only had like 20 minutes to fight the villains, and anything after 20 minutes, or I think it was 30 minutes, he turned into a villain himself, which was insane. So he wasn't just fighting the Venomoids, he was trying to fight himself too. Y'all gotta go watch the series, man. Teknoman, Spitfire, sick with it, man. Next up, Batman, Bruce Wayne, Guardian of Gotham City. Y'all know the storyline. I mean, what I gotta tell y'all. So y'all know Batman, right? He's Bruce Wayne. He loses his parents as a kid. Decides to go to all kinds of throughout the whole world and get all kinds of crazy martial arts training. I mean, whether it's Batman the animated series, whether it's the various Batman movies, animated movies, the Batman movies from the Michael Keaton series to the Christian Bale series to now the Robert Pattinson series to the one that Val Kilmer did, even the one that was bad with George Clooney. Batman's just fire, man. I mean, and then to the they did this series called Gotham it was on Fox. That was pretty good, even though you never saw him as Batman, but it's just telling the storyline of Batman. I mean, Batman's so sick. He's a detective. He's got all the fighting skills. He's got all the gadgets. He's got the cool Batmobile. He's got the Bat Pod. He's got, God, Batman is so sick. I mean, of course, Christian Bale's the greatest Batman of all time. You know what I mean? But yo, Batman is so sick. And then, of course, Batman Beyond. All these different animated series. God, Batman is so sick. And what I love most about Batman is he's completely human and completely vulnerable. Even with his costume, there's still this vulnerability to him, man, that I've always thought was made him great. And he knew he was vulnerable, right? Because he didn't want to put on too much armor to make himself heavy, so he could still have acrobatics, but be bulletproof, but not where he can move. And so he didn't have all these kind of crazy injuries. Shoulder, arm, knee. I mean, this dude he stayed on the injured list, straight up. You know what I mean? If anybody was ever on the injured list every week, it was Batman. I mean, but Batman had mad heart, man. And I think his will is his greatest superhero strength. I mean, I know people be like, well, you can't be a superhero if you ain't got no powers. Yes, you can. Being a superhero is not about having powers. It's what you can do with those. It's what you can do, what you do. That's what makes you a superhero, man. Batman, man, look at this, man. Sick as hell. Dude, God. I remember drawing him. I was like, I gotta make this guy look like he's got armor, man. Batman's sick as hell with it. So that's Batman right there. Next up, we got Iron Man. Dun, 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 dun. And he's my favorite. No, he's my second favorite Marvel superhero, right? But on my list of superheroes, he's my third favorite. I mean, Iron Man, real name Tony Stark. Storyline, of course he gets injured. His heart gets punctured. He has to build the armor to save his life. Not only does he build the armor, now there's two ways to look at it. The movie version, which is one I'm telling you right now, where he gets captured, he builds the armor to save himself and he gets out of the situation. But in the animated series from the 1990s, right, he gets captured by Mandarin. He has to build a armor for Mandarin, but instead of building for Mandarin, he builds himself to get out of the Himalayas. So he gets help from Ying Sing, who's like a specialist in metal technology or something like that. They'll build the armor. If you've never watched the anime series, please go watch it. 1990s, 2 seasons. You can find it on Disney Plus if you have Disney Plus. You ain't finding it on YouTube. Sorry, it ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? So you gotta go pay for it. You know what I mean? But Iron Man, sick as hell. Dude, my favorite Avenger by far, not even close. You know what I mean? There's no contest. He's 1 and everybody else is 2, 3, 4, whatever you want to call him. Tony Stark. I love armor. Any superhero that has armor. It just so happens that Iron Man is just sick as hell. And he calls himself Iron Man. I mean, God, Tony Stark is smart, brilliant, inventor, philanthropist. I can't even pronounce that word. But philanthropist, you know what I mean? He builds this armor and then he creates different versions of it. Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4, Mark 5. All the way to Mark 32. And like I told you, actually, if you've ever seen the animated movie, Ultimate Avengers, you see that the War Machine armor was actually part of his armor group But what he did in a different spectrum, War Machine is actually a whole different character, which is played by James Rose, who's War Machine. But in that time, in that Ultimate Avengers, War Machine armor is just another armor to him. But the cool thing is that Iron Man's sick as hell. His costumes, man. I mean, God, I love me some Iron Man. God, I love Iron Man. And when I draw Iron Man, I go all out. Like, dog. This is a fan favorite right here, that poster. This poster I just showed y'all, that's a fan favorite. That thing gets love at the shows all the time. It's always selling. And it's available for you too on SimonVision.com. I love me some Iron Man. And he made this list because he's a guy who creates something to defend the world. He's like Batman, but he wears armor. That's basically what he is. The only thing Batman can do that Tony Stark doesn't do is he's a detective. But Iron Man's a detective in his own way. He solves problems, specifically scientific problems, which what makes Iron Man a great character. Iron Man is so sick. So sick, man. God, Iron Man is the sickest. You know he was making lists, man. Next up, we got the Karjakz Assassin characters. Now, I'll be here all day long. But, you know, when I created my characters, right, I told you I love Batman. I know superheroes don't have no power. And one of the things that mattered to me was creating my characters to have no powers, right? So, you know, you got the Karjakz. You got, on the Karjakz side, you got the Karjakz, who are the heroes, right? So you got Cajun, Escalade, Glocks, Rasputin, Sincere, Diesel, Shepard. You know what I mean? This is all of them right here. You know what I mean? Look at that. Check that out. One at a time. That's the whole group. Then I'm going to show y'all one at a time. So here we got Cajun, right? He's got the armor. He's got these. I'm not going to tell you the weapon, right? And he's got his faithful psychic Sphinx. You know what I mean? You got Escalade. See, I don't want to give y'all too much because the book is coming out soon. But I do want to show y'all because they're making the list. Then you got Sincere. You know what I mean? You got Glocks. Right there. You know what I mean? You got Rasputin. You know what I mean? Yo, you got Diesel. You got Shepard. You know what I mean? Oh, it's so sick, man. Then, of course, you got the villains. The assassins. Man, these dudes right here. They're just like the heroes, right? Led by Lord Sun Tzu. You know what I mean? They got superheroes. They're super villains. They got no powers either. And everything is, I made it up, give them abilities, training, all that kind of stuff. All kinds of acrobatics, military training, backgrounds where, so I showed y'all, let's see here. We got Sun Tzu right there. Because I forgot to let y'all know. We got artillery right there. You know what I mean? We got artillery. We got excursion. We got Kanji. We got Revo. We got Snipes. Then of course we got Yukon. And even though they're not super, but the androids, the coyotes, right? They were created just to serve for Lord Sun Tzu. You know what I mean? But my characters, all my characters, right? All my characters right here, all in one go. Karjakz Assassins, right there. None of them have powers. I just gave them high training, array of weapons, just like Iron Man or Batman. I just wanted them to be human because I want their greatest strength to be their will, to will themselves through things. To me, that's what makes a great superhero, when you can do things out of just sheer humanity. To me, like I said before, the greatest superheroes, that's why I created this episode. The best superheroes are always the ones that don't have everything and can't do everything. But they have to will themselves to doing everything. So, you know, the Karjakz Assassin character is going to make this list. I mean, dude, superheroes, to me, when superheroes have too much power, it gets corny. Real corny. So, you know, that's why all these characters I mentioned today made the list. And of course, you know, the Karjakz Assassin character is going to make the list. And I do want to give y'all too much, but I want to show them to y'all. Because when the first official Karjakz Assassin comic book comes out, y'all gonna really understand. So I'm not trying to tell y'all too much. But if you need to know what's going on with the Karjakz Assassin characters, you got to get this bio book. So it's going to tell you the profile, height, weight, where they're from, what they can do, their abilities. That way I don't ruin it for you. And also too, so that when you get the first official Karjakz Assassin comic book, you're like, oh, this is fire. I see what this dude's talking about. You know what I mean? So that's our show for today. But before we get up out of here, you know what I mean? I always like to talk about what we got going, new products. As you can see, travel neck pillow, because we're back in travel season now. There are no more restrictions. Everybody's going everywhere all the time now. So, you know, you got to get you your travel neck pillow, man. And all our travel neck pillows come double-sided, as you can see. We got the Karjakz Assassins version 5 on this side. They got the classic on this side. But you can get them in any character. Iron Man, Blade, Batman, Wonder Woman, Turtles, Voltron, Mega Man, Black Panther. You name it, I got it. Anything on this banner right here that I've drawn, we can get on our awesome custom travel neck pillows. And then, the bucket hat. Check this out, the bucket hat. Look at this. All this talent right here. the bucket hat. But guess what's cool about our bucket hat? They are very much reversible. Oh yes. Every time you order a bucket hat from us, we got 2 colors, 2 sides of the art. So people ain't gonna know you pay for 1 bucket hat, but you got 2 different art variations, two different forms of art on either side. You know what I mean? This is the classic Karjakz on this side, but then I flip it back and I got version 5. I mean, look at this, man, and the detail of it. You can see it's sick as I get compliments with these things every time I'm going somewhere. So y'all, bucket hats available on sunvision.com. You know what I mean? So that concludes our show. Don't forget out of here, as I told y'all before. You want to get this Karjaksz's bio book, get you ready for the first official Karjakz comic book. It's a game changer. I'm excited. And we're also working on animated stuff for Karjakz universe. Is coming soon too. So, you know, you're going to check that out, man. Sunvision.com and get your copy of this bio book so that when the first official Karjakz comic book comes out, you ain't behind the 8 ball. You know what's going on. So, y'all, that concludes our show for today. But before we get up out of here, y'all, we want to thank our sponsors. This Sound Vision podcast is brought to you by A4 Capital Consulting. Growing good business anywhere and everywhere. Let A4 Capital Consulting take your business to the next level. That's A4CapitalConsulting.com for details, y'all. That's A4CapitalConsulting.com for details, y'all. And this podcast also brought to you by Anadale Foot and Ankle. Don't live with foot pain. Let Anadale Foot and Ankle make your feet happy again. That's AnadaleCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadaleCenter.com for details, y'all. Thank y'all for listening, man. This podcast is produced, written, and directed by yours truly, Adewale Jr. Please check out our website for all our cool stuff, from the bucket hats to the travel neck pillows, to glasses cases, to phone cases, to the Batas footwear line, to all these bomber jackets, puffer jackets, t-shirts, tank tops, because you know we're going into the spring, so get ready for even more cool stuff. We even got towels now, you know what I mean? We are doing a lot of cool stuff, so check it out. Sweatpants, leggings for the ladies, you know what I mean? Kids gear too, we got that too. Everything is custom. Nothing is just generic. You order it, we design it, we create it, we get it out to you. That's what we do in the Sanusi Vision, man. And please subscribe to our podcast. We got it strictly on the YouTube channel now because people love to see and hear at the same time. So I might as well put myself in a place where I know we can do both. And that's our YouTube channel, you know what I mean? At Sanusi Vision, you know what I mean? But you can always catch our episodes too on our Facebook channel, on our Facebook page. We got it there at Sanusi Vision, even at my Facebook page, Adewale Boki. You know what I mean? So check it out, man. Subscribe to it. Don't be a hater. Say something nice about us because we're doing big things here, man. And also, please check out our social media platforms at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, all at Sanusi Vision. You got to have a social media following. I'm not on it to meet nobody. I just want to run my business and do what I do on my platform. That's what I'm trying to do on my social media platform. So the big gamers, YouTube #1, Facebook #2, TikTok #3. Some people might say that TikTok is #2 and Facebook is #3. It just depends who you ask. And of course, you got Instagram and Twitter. They're there too, you know what I mean? But you got to have your social media on. And as always, y'all, please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. And as always, y'all, continue to aspire and achieve. Have a great week. Stay safe, y'all. Peace.